Everyone's waiting for snow, kids and grown-ups alike. I don't wanna be riding my bike this time tomorrow. The weatherman says it's a go, but look in the sky, I don't know. Santa, can you please make it snow tomorrow? 'Cause for Christmas Day, everything should be white, all glistening and brightly aglow. For Christmas Day, Santa, won't you make it so I can make angels in the snow? Conditions are perfectly cold, so come on already. Truth be told, is it really too much to be asking for? Now look at the sky and give me just one reason why, Santa, you can make it snow tomorrow. 'Cause for Christmas Day, everything should be white, all glistening and brightly aglow. For Christmas Day, Santa, won't you make it so I can make angels in the snow? Thank you, everyone, for joining us to the Onstage podcast. Today, we have a wonderful multi-instrumentalist, jazz pianist, and composer, James A. Norkawich. He's introduced as a classical crossover, blending modern songs with classical arrangements. Now, Norkawich is from Bridgeport, Connecticut, was inspired by his organist grandfather. He studied piano and organ, joined the Connecticut Valley Theater Organ Society, and performed with the Regional Center of the Arts. He later earned scholarships to the University of Bridgeport. And after college, Norkawich performed with acts like Spyro, Gyra, and Dave Samuels. He also played at the Covenant Church of Easton in private events. And his classical crossover genre combines classical music with contemporary sounds, creating a unique and experimental style. Who Wants to Live Forever showcases his talents and aims to attract new audiences and old audiences. He collaborated with a great tenor on there, and he's also seeking a voice of creativity, Freddie Mercury, and the dynamics of Adam Lambert. The track is available. We'll put it on the description. So today, James is here. He's been called Mr. Christmas by the New York Times, pianist, Composer, arranger, and producer James A. Norkawich is here today. His music has captured hearts around the world and its message of faith, family, and timeless beauty. He's here today to talk about his new singles, his signature sound, and a massive upcoming season of Christmas releases. Hello, James. Thank you for being on our show for what, the seventh time, eighth time?
Yeah, it seems like it's been more than that, but it's always good to be with you, Chris. And it's that time of year again, and I've actually made it a point to release more this year. A, because I had a monumental birthday. B, we had a lot of things going on and a lot of music that was just needed to get out. And instead of just sitting in hard drives and sitting on sheet music, it was like, let's get a chance to get out there. And also was able to work with a particular artist that you've also had on the program, Jackie DiMaggio, and actually get out and play for the first time in probably like 10 or 15 years and not sit behind the piano or be a solo piano act, but actually get out there and perform in front of 10,000 people, which it was a hot day. It wasn't comfy, but it was exciting. And, I planned very early on, I said, I'm going to do 3 Christmas albums. One really has the reason for the season. It has classical Christian, gospel, R&B, pop, and covers everything about Christmas. And then the other stuff is more of, want to say, niche songs, classical crossover, funk, pop, doo-wop, just a little bit of everything to get everybody into the Christmas spirit. Well, the 2 albums became 3 because I decided, well, I was going to do an little audio book. And then with about through the whole month of September, I got a call and said, I've got some of these instrumentals that we've done like 20 and 30 years ago. Would you think they would actually work? And I'm like, you know, I think I'm just gonna put them out there and let everybody enjoy them. I mean, you know, Chris, I've said this numerous times, and whether you're a first time musician or you're learning an instrument or you're just, like you love listening to Christmas music and when you're shopping or you have family over or this, that, and the other. It's so cool because you're able to listen, and I'm not being partial. The stuff that we all know and love. I think the younger generation is just learning that, and they're just learning the Nat King Coles, and they're learning the Frank Sinatras, and they're learning the Doris Days, and even Mariah Carey. But what are we going to give to our kids to inspire them to create something new? What are we going to do to redo our holidays and make our holidays even better? And that was a challenge. And I said, I'm going to go crazy. And I didn't think I was going to go that crazy, but I mean, these albums, there's a lot of music, but it's whether you're wrapping gifts, whether you're spending time with family, whether you're going on a long car ride, you know, um, these songs really come from the heart. They set the mood, they set the tone, and I really feel that everyone's going to have a new outlook, and I hopefully look at me in a different way because I've sung on some of these tracks, so. So which I hadn't in the past, and when you're working with a whole team of people and giving them sheet music and saying, okay, let's do this part, or I'll go over here and record this, and then I'll go over here and record that, and then it's like then you hear the finished product because when it first began, it was very, very, very basic. Um, I'm excited because these three albums in total will probably be over 60 songs. Again, I can't, again, it hasn't hit me yet because if I make a playlist of all my Christmas stuff, you know, literally you can just have one playlist for your entire Christmas season. Um, and my goal and my hopes are that, people around the world who do listen and stream, and I'm forever thankful for everyone, and of course you as Chris, like, when you see your music being used in Instagram reels and TikTok reels, and you're looking at numbers, and you know and people write to you and say, wow, I really like this song. You look at a video and it creates a memory that really touches somebody. It's like, that's exactly what I was thinking, and sometimes you get it right, sometimes you don't, but that's what it's all about. And I mean, I'm already thinking next Christmas, if you can believe that. We still have, it's the 23rd, so we've got 6 more days, literally a week before everything drops. So we shall see.
I'm looking forward to it, James. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. I'm really interested in learning about your song Innocent Angel for Irina, which you consider to be a message of grace, love, and hope. Tell us more about that.
Sure. So, as you know, we've had, at least here in the States, we've had a lot of stuff go down. And Irina, I can't pronounce her last name because my Russian is not that, it's phonetically forget it. She was a young woman who was on a train in North Carolina, and her life was brutally taken. And, you know, when you saw that on the news, and, it really hit me that could have been any of us. And, it doesn't matter where you live. It doesn't matter whether you're a man, woman, or it could have been a pet. The thing is that when someone takes someone's life in such a tragic way like that, there needs to be some method of healing. And as you know, whether it was Hallelujah in Ukraine that I did with someone, and you could look down below, or or Who Wants to Live Forever. Um, these songs, I write best. I write best when there's meaning, because music is supposed to have meaning. It's supposed to give comfort. It's supposed to give insight. It's supposed to um, give an answer to some time when we're there, when no answers are there. And um, and again, she was in a very, just coming home from work, hopping on a train, and her life was taken. And that could happen to any of us. And life is very short and precious, and and I really wanted to encapsulate that. And if anything, maybe her family or her friends may find solace in that. And also, as you know, Charlie Kirk, who was a political figure, but also a Christian, a father, and someone who liked to keep open dialogue. And so, and again, we've had a lot of things going on in this country, and I mean, there are a lot of things going on in the world. But when someone gets killed again, it reminded me of when Elvis Presley, in 1968, they had the Elvis special with it was no pun intended, with the leather, the the leather suit, and he did the comeback special. Well, him and Dr. Martin Luther King were good friends, and him and Bobby Kennedy were good friends. And he felt at that time that the country was in mourning and we needed something to heal. So he did If I Can Dream. And if you YouTube that, I tell you, when you hear that original version, hear him sing it, it's amazing and immense.
Yeah,
Our
it's like that Elvis cover, "If I Can Dream." Yeah, it's for Charlie Kirk. Um, you said the song's message about faith, unity, and believing in a better tomorrow truly resonating today. I like how you reimagined it, the orchestration, piano strings, gospel choir to capture the feeling of revival and patriotic optimism. We love that, James.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much garbage out there now. It's not one like when we grew up. And everybody says that, you almost give your age away. You're like, oh, when I was your age, oh. No, I mean, music is being so underproduced and has really no tangency or really meaning. When you used to, I mean, I'm, again, a big vinyl collector. So, like, if I go and put something on, I want to be able to listen to it and feel it and absorb it, just hits you and it could be anything: rock, pop, jazz, R&B. Um, so when we redid this version, it didn't take long because I knew how I wanted it, or I could imagine it, and the video is it's actually going to be coming out. This gentleman who's a great filmmaker, who's going actually he's got a couple films on Amazon, and we've gone back and forth and exchanged ideas, and you want to celebrate Charlie's life, and you want to celebrate the movement that he's done. I mean, I think it's the first time you ever see Christian music on mainstream TV and people talking about God, and that's that's what he was all about, and that's how we should be. And listen, everyone is, I say, is up to do what they want to do, but I'm not going to apologize for it. In a lot of my songs, and a lot of Christmas is about the birth of Christ, and yes, there's fun stuff, and there's stuff for the kids, and you know quirky songs and things like that. But when it comes down to the meaning of you know if someone's not there for Christmas, if you've lost a parent or a relative, and what are those things? How can you put that into music? And so, getting back to Charlie was to celebrate his life with the original song that Elvis Presley himself, you know, did. And it was kind of those speed bumps that slowed all the Christmas stuff down. But yet, when you look, there's 24 tracks on one album, 30 tracks on another, and then 16. I mean, this is the most I've ever done. And some people have said, you're crazy. And I look at it this way: when you turn on any radio station anywhere in the world, online or in your car, they usually repeat and repeat and repeat the same stuff. So my gift to you, to everyone in the world, is throwing new stuff out there, new material, and hopefully one out of 63 it sticks, and people can people can look at the holidays and celebrate it in a way they never did before.
Yeah, that's interesting, Jim. I know that Christmas Magic was a beautiful album. I love many of the songs, and in fact, I told you once I was walking the coffee shop at my university I work at, and there was one of your songs playing, and I'm like, it was like, oh wow,
Well,
you're playing
that's
here in Canada?
That's gonna
So that was amazing.
so that's been redone, and only because that album got pulled up because when you're a one man, as you see, all of this stuff here, this is kind of the think tank. What you can't see in front of me is I've got monitors, it looks like NASA.
Hmm.
I could say, okay, I wish I could move everything around. Um, it's you know that song did so well and touched a lot of people. And I said, well, how can we, now that I know what I did. I made my mistakes because when you're recording and you're processing and then you're doing your website and your socials and everything, Chris, you're doing the video, editing the video, doing the artwork, putting it up, doing this, booking the next one. It's like, I
A lot of
just,
work.
yeah, I missed the boat on something, but I hope we get that boat back. But the song is on there, and I'm really excited because I'm going to make as many videos as I can. So, it's and it's always great to debut it with you because I admire you, I respect you as a podcaster and also as a friend, and it's um,
Appreciate that, Jim.
that means the world. And I don't want anybody else to know. I want to have you have the first dibs because everyone will follow and watch you and be able to absorb all the stuff that we're doing. So um,
And not just that album, though, that you have a new one coming out this holiday season. It's the biggest of your career. You created four distinct Christmas albums, each one telling a different part of the story. Now, from family traditions and romance, reflection, and forever faith. Tell us more about that one or those four. Because you have a beautiful song on there, which I can't wait for, is Underneath the Mistletoe Lights. I'm like thinking of that has Shia vibes because she has one called Under the Christmas Tree Lights.
so
So
that
under the mistletoe light.
so that is actually out now, believe it or not. And there's three. It's mostly instrumental, but there's three songs that are actually full compositions, vocals and whatchamacall, vocals and the whole group. Uh, Funny story was all those instrumentals. Some of them are 20 to 30 years old, and
Wow.
what I decided was I'm like I had this stuff sitting around since I was like in college, and I'm like you can put out a jazz album, and I think it would sound great, but uh, that keyboard, let's see, that one right there,
Hmm.
has some great Christmas effects, and you know, doing more, kind of thinking out of the box. I'm like, I think we can redo some things. Um, and that for me was like a pet project. I said, these things were already recorded, so I enhanced them and then decided, well, I'm going to add this, add that, and boom. Um, it came out really well. And I'm not just saying that. And if you're on Spotify, Amazon, Deezer, iTunes, iHeart, Apple Music, Tidal, Pandora, you can stream it now. And and
Mm.
and people are. People are using some of the instrumentals for things that it's like it's only been out 3 days, and already it's hit China, the Philippines, Singapore, Canada, and the U.S. And I
Mm.
I didn't even push it. So Um, and then the other two, those are some heavy hitters. I think I'm hoping to see get your feedback and your feedback from your audience on next week when all the good stuff comes out because there's some classical crossover there with Jackie DiMaggio's voice. Um, was able to overdub and patch her in. There's a little country. There's a little a cappella. There's a little doo-wop. If you remember Take Six or Boys to Men. Um,
Take Six, yeah. I used to listen to them.
oh, love Take Six. And this you're gonna find funny. The woman who produced Toxic for Britney Spears, we connected on social media, and this may be another single that may be released after the fact. But it's kind of like it it's not it won't sound like Britney, but it's in the style of Britney, and it's just wild. But there was just so much time, and then there's not enough time, and it's like I'm going, well, what should we do? And then comes the inevitable cut. I just want to show your listeners that this is what a cut sheet looks like.
Hmm.
This is stuff that you've got going, and it's like, okay, well, that's just one album.
Wow.
I mean, it's ridiculous. But I'm saving these. Maybe I'll put these on eBay if the album does well, and I can sell them for a couple $100,000. But you know, I love Christmas. I always, growing up, it was, the favorite time of year, and I guess it's the one chance for you to express yourself and I guess not be judged. And
Yeah, totally agree.
you know,
Now, yeah, yeah,
go ahead, no, go ahead.
yeah. The under like the underneath the mistletoe lights streaming now, everyone. That's the first release, streaming now on all platforms. And this is your romantic Christmas albums, full of warmth, melody, and magic. And the songs are about the feeling of falling in love during the holidays, that glow from the fireplace, the sparkle of the lights, and the moment you share a kiss under the mistletoe. It's elegant, emotional, and joyful, something for everyone in love with Christmas. But you have another album which is out, and I think October 29th. It's
Correct.
called This Christmas is Forever.
Yeah, that's the one that's got some songs from Christmas Magic, which of course it's a Magic Day, uh, Christmas in My Heart. I mean, those are, I want to call those like heavy hitters. If you were to have like a great collection or something that you really want to just hit the core and cover everything, um, you know that that one was by the hardest one to actually put together because what I do every year is I end up going through, like, there musicians that I work with also submit things to me, and then there's things that throughout the course of the summer when it's hot and everybody's at the beach, I'm sitting and I'm doing all this other stuff. And then, and then ideas and things start to take form and take shape, and it's like, you know, what can I do different this year than I haven't done last year? And, for me, there was a lot that I could have done last year, and I'm happy with everything. You know, having a mixed album and then a Christian album. but now I kind of learned how to merge. It's a learning process. I mean, no one gets it right, and there is no prerequisites in terms of like, you got to do it this way, you got to do it that way. But the thing is, I want it to sound good, and I want it to connect with one theme after another. Um, I mean, there is, contemporary this, contemporary that, but there's one song that stands out. You remember the Village People, right?
Hmm.
With YMCA?
Hey you!
Well, it's
Yeah.
a
Yeah,
play
yeah,
on
you feeling
YMCA
low?
called
Got no hope?
JESUS
I got someone you need to
in
know.
the style of the Village
Hey,
People.
are you
And
feeling down? I
when I
say,
You mean
first,
like J E S
are
U
you
S do
lost?
do 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 JESUS? Really?
yeah, and you're not breaking any copyright infractions because you're not saying the actual words, and you're not using kind of change the melody somewhat. Um, there's some classical crossover stuff that's on there that I this is stuff that like back in 2022 I was going to put out, and it, it just it was written, it was recorded, but I didn't find the right person to sing it at the time. So um, there's one song on there called "Angels at My Door," and
Hmm.
that particular song talks about loss, and for me, why this one really stands out is because when it's starting to snow, and it starting to snow at night, and you're looking out, and you can see the reflection of the snow hitting the glass door. So it was one of those things. I'm like, you know, it reminded me of a movie where this person was able to see their loved ones, outside, like I want to say a hologram, or call it whatever you will. And that's what the inspiration for that song was, angels at my door, and like, you know, those angels will always be with you. So I mean, it's that kind of stuff. Just, I mean, the term that they use now is banger. And so if there's any album that I feel that's a real banger, that's the album. Then the second one that's going to follow and be released on the same day, it's just all the other stuff that was left over, and I'm like, no, this doesn't stink either. I mean, and I can't believe that I had all of this. I said, let's get it out there. Let's see how it resonates with people. I mean, there's how many people in the world, and whether you celebrate Christmas or you don't, there's kind of something for everyone, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Everyone at Christmas, this Christmas is Forever is out now, and it features powerful arrangements, rich vocals, and orchestral textures that take listeners on a journey of joy, gratitude, and timeless tradition. You were mentioning something about another album you're leaking. It's called A Norkawich Family Christmas, which is out. And you said this was the most personal project, a narrated and musical reflection of your own childhood. This is interesting. Christmas in Bridgeport, Connecticut, blends storytelling with piano, gospel, and orchestral music. Tribute to your parents
hmm
and your family, and to everyone who finds strength and faith through memory. It's a Christmas album with heart, hope, and home. Tell us more about that one.
Chris, I've been wanting to do that. I've been, you know, um, I have a fairly small family, so it would have been nice to. I mean, I have a sister, cousins, and nephews, and you want to. of course, my wife. So you want to, record and get everybody in there, right? Well, I thought it'd be better off if I did, Twas the Night. No. Um, a story of how I grew up and what Christmas was like for me, and someone else narrating it. Um, but there's an original kind of score behind it. So it's kind of like who was the gentleman who was the voice of Darth Vader? James Earl Jones.
James Earl Jones.
And once here we go. And, I mean, a lot of people. I mean, there's people in Sweden and Norway and Canada and the U.S. That and the UK that follow me on social media, and around this time of year they ask me the same question, and they say, "Well, so what does your family do? Are there any recipes? Are there anything?" And when you live in another country, everybody looks at America as the staple, and we have our own traditions, when it comes to Thanksgiving and to Christmas, and kind of like the fish, and before on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Could be anything from a turkey, if you're not sick of a turkey from Thanksgiving. I mean, there's just so many traditions and so many good memories. Like, I wanted just to be able. It's more like an audio book kind of deal, but it's something that gives insight, because a lot of people go on YouTube, and they watch interviews and videos and things like that. Some people are actually in their car, and if they're listening to stuff and they want to hear, well, how did you do this, and how did you do that? And that'll be coming out probably the first week in November. That is, I had to dial back a little bit on that, because I had too many Christmas songs to begin with. But I really wanted to have more family do interviews, and what was Christmas like for them, because some of them are up there in years, and the only thing is, it's with everything that I have been working on, and the live performance this year, which I'm totally elated, and there's going to be even more live stuff. It was just one of those things that I'm like, let's take one thing at a time, and let's see how things work. So hopefully we'll be able to pick and choose what we're going to perform and take out, and with the various amount of vocalists that I work with, at least in New York, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, the Northeast area. If we can get some of those out and have people hear them live, I think that would be great too.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. So what's the one, Christmas Forevermore? The album is a finale. You can explain that a little bit more. And the closing message that even when the season ends, the love, faith, and memories remain. Christmas Forevermore is orchestral, cinematic, and reflective. A soundtrack for gratitude, peace, and the enduring spirit of Christmas. Tell us more about that one. That sounds interesting.
Yeah, I mean, that's the one with about 30 something songs on it. And why it's so important is, when it seems like it takes forever to get to fall. As you see, we're now in fleece and sweatshirts. A couple of weeks ago, we're in t-shirts or Bermuda shorts, And
Exactly. Yeah,
and it's
true.
and the holidays, they seem to come up very quickly. So what I wanted to do was create something that that music. So there's a really cool, and I mean really cool song for New Year's. It's like a 12-inch dance remix. It's kind of like a freestyle disco funk kind of thing. And it's ringing in 2026, and it's celebration, it's joy. And because once Christmas gets here, and then everybody's done shopping and wrapping presents and baking cookies and doing this, it's like, then what? You know,
Mm.
the radio stations go from, hark the herald angels sing you know, to Nelly, you know. It's like, you try to make that transition of going from, a time where you're with family, with loved ones, with friends, coworkers, and even people you just don't know, people you meet on the street, and you just, it's made to put people in a good mood. It's made to take people into the new year feeling that. And, there are a lot of, on social media, there are a lot of sites and places and people who listen to Christmas music all year round. So,
I know. It's crazy. And they show they have Christmas in July. They show Christmas Hallmark movies in July
yeah,
every year.
and I don't see there's a problem with that because it,
Now the
yeah.
question is Die Hard a Christmas movie or not because it was released in July?
uh,
See?
I,
And
I like it. I like it. All I have to say is, if you don't like it, well, yippee ki No, but seriously, like, I mean, my personal favorite, and it was my dad's and my mom's, was the 1952 version of A Christmas Carol with Alistair Sim.
that's the one I like. And I decided one year to say, okay, let's see what the 1938 version with Reginald Owen is like. Yeah, terrible,
It's
terrible.
it sucks.
So I stuck with the 51 and Scrooge. That was a good one.
So here's the thing for everyone who's a fanatic of movies and Christmas music. So the 1952 with Alistair Sim, and he died like 2 years after the movie.
No, he didn't. The movie was no. The movie was released 1951. He died in 1977.
Oh,
I
he did?
remember it was like 12. Yeah. So he lived to his last part was in the movie Rogue Male. Go check out Rogue Male with Peter O'Toole, and
Really?
he plays his uncle. And he's like 70 years old, 77. He died. Yeah, Rogue Male, the last movie he was in. Then he died.
So when he wakes up, okay, Christmas morning, and then his housekeeper, he's
Mrs.
like,
Dilba.
huh?
Mrs. Dilba.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When he looks in the mirror, and then he's like, ooh, right?
I know you see the director and the
Yeah.
producer in the back. It's like that. Yeah, they kept that in. It's like one of these bloopers,
And you see
movie mistakes.
you see these guys from like 1950, 1960 holding the boom arm like this, and
Yeah.
and I mean, it's great. That's just cinema history. I mean, It's a Wonderful Life is isn't
That was a good one too. I'm a big Jimmy Stewart fan.
I have a song that is plays off It's a Wonderful Life. I think it's on Christmas Forevermore. and it, if anybody who hasn't seen It's a Wonderful Life, this is what the song is about, but it's like the movie put to music. I mean, see, these are the things that go through your mind. It's like, childhood memories. Like, not to bore you, but I mean, Home Alone is up there, with your Christmas movies of recent, right? Well, 1989, that was like, what, almost 30 years ago? Um, I mean, the message that the Christmas Carol has is in some of these songs, if not most of them, and that's because we grew up watching and listening and hearing these things that really touch your heart and really touch your soul. And for anybody that doesn't know, there's a song on A Connecticut Christmas, which was done in
Mm-hmm.
2022, called was it Angels in the Snow,
Oh,
and
okay.
and that was supposed to be the theme for a reboot of a movie, and just so here's the thing: if you watch the Hallmark Channel and you see Angels in the Snow, let me know because you'll hear my song and my version of it, but they won't play it in the States, and it's not available to watch on any streaming service.
Why is that?
I have no clue. I think one of the Canadian stations ended up spending the money to finish because I sure as heck wasn't going to get a lot of money for it, but it would have gotten it on the backside with the residuals, and
That's odd.
yeah. So I mean, the song is fantastic, but it's like forget it when it comes to the movie. But the original movie, Angels in the Snow, I think had Christy Swanson in it. So I don't want anybody to get confused. If you watch Angels in the Snow, unless it's the version that matches my Spotify, then that's great. But chances are, unless you're in Canada, unless you're in the UK, I've heard people say, "Oh, I've heard your song," and I'm like, "Really? You actually heard the song?" And they're like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Well, why isn't the movie playing here?" That's kind of the dirty stuff of the business, but
Yeah, I don't understand that. Like, yeah, it's I don't know.
I just again touching with a Christmas Carol, just that version, it when Charles Dickens wrote A Christmas Carol,
Mm-hmm.
it was a weird period because it didn't snow in Europe. So in the 1800s, at least it has to be the 1800s. So when he wrote it, it was actually snowing at that time. And I guess they were going through like a climate type change or a climate shift. And they're actually talking that for the Northeast, Canada, and most of the. So we may have a nice, very snowy and musical Christmas. And that's, I hope that, anyone listening is able to just soak it all up. I will, make sure that I put things in playlists and videos because I've been too busy to do videos this year for anything. So I'm outsourcing it, but it'd be nice to be actually do a video with me in it. And I was just talking today about that. So you never know what's going to happen. We just gotta cross our fingers and hope for the best.
Yeah, I've heard already from musicians who are pulling their stuff out of Spotify and putting it on another streaming service because they say they get more money if they have it on Bandcamp and Apple Music. They say they get better streams, better income because of this. What's his name? Something Eck, the CEO of Spotify. He's like not a very good person. So
No, and what I'm doing this year, and we were just talking about that before the interview, is that I love vinyl, and yes, I like CDs, and so you can get everything digitally. But
did you find a place to print your in vinyl? Did you find a vinyl place?
yeah, I did, and they print on demand. So what I'm gonna do is I've got to upload all these to the distributor, and what they'll do is I can put a link, and I will put a link on my website and on social media. So anybody that hears the stuff can then click on the link and order it directly there. And you're paying for the artwork. I mean, I've got artwork. I've got a lot of really cool stuff. Other than the covers that you see when you go to Spotify, and the popularity of vinyl. I mean, it just makes you feel the music, and it makes it just soaks everything in. And I'm really excited about it because uh, I'm a geek at heart, and I love music, and it's a miracle my wife doesn't start throwing my stuff out the door. But we're a very musical family, and I say that if you music, and I always say this, and I should have this tattooed on my back. Music is the soundtrack of our lives. So why not make it a good one? You know, I mean, if you're gonna listen to stuff that isn't so healthy and whatnot, that's it kind of says what kind of person you are to the world. And
Yeah.
I tell everyone this, whether you're just a musician, whether you're just picking up an instrument, if you're a young kid and you're watching, and your parents are watching this, and you want to pick up an instrument, thing is listen, listen, listen. I
Hmm.
mean, these why vinyl came back is because you open it up and it tells you a story, and that story, there's stories in pictures, there's stories in words, there's stories. It takes so much to put things together that we live in a world now, like, it's like we don't even have time to put the lyrics down and do this and do that. And then when you read the lyrics, it's like, I never knew what that meant. And then, like, so just since we're on this Christmas and geeking out here, Whitney Houston, Saving All My Love for You. Anybody who's listening to this, listen to the song. The song sounds so sweet and so innocent, but it's about infidelity.
Mm.
And how many times have I played that, and then now I listen to it and I go, oh, that's what it meant. And and that's what I like to do with my stuff too, is take a memory, may put a hidden innuendo in there, and it makes people think. Because the best thing is when you get a hot cup of coffee in the morning, you're in your PJs, and then you go to sit down and you put on some music. It's on a Saturday or Sunday. You don't have anywhere to go. It's snowing outside. Your tree is up. The dog and the cats are happy, and then all of a sudden you listen to something and it goes, hmm, I never thought of that before.
Hmm.
And that's I've been learning how to do that, and I didn't realize that a lot. I mean, some of the greats have done that, and I haven't gotten there, but I'm getting there. I'm getting there. So so hopefully, you know, hopefully we'll go viral with this, and then hopefully we can turn around and go, oh my God, it's Grammy nominated. It's this, it's that. Hey, it can happen. The thing is just as you believe in yourself and you work as hard as you can accomplish anything.
I'd like to ask you. I'd like to ask you the meaning of this quote. For me, music is faith, love, and legacy.
Well, for me, again, my faith is extremely important. It's who I am, and it's what it's in my music, and I wouldn't be doing it if I haven't been given a gift. And I think that, when you're given a gift, you don't toss it aside. And if you look at your Christmas gift, you go, "Oh, this Mercedes Benz, I don't want it." You know, no, I mean, you've been given a gift, and it's your job to tell a story. And and in terms of legacy, I don't have any biological children, so music is kind of like my baby. And I'm not saying anybody that your children can't do anything. It's just we live in a culture today where sports. I mean, yes, I'm got my New York Giants thingy on. Um, However, we're so laser focused and people packing stadiums. How many times do people pack places where there's a small group or a small symphony or a small jazz trio? And sometimes we spend our time, for example, like the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl is the biggest thing that is here in the States. And now this year, they're having Bad Bunny. Now, it's become very controversial for many, many, many reasons.
Can't understand. Yeah, I know. I heard
I,
about that.
yeah, and that's why other movements are saying, wait a minute, we need to make this a family program. Now, let's go back. Prince performing, Michael Jackson performing, Bruno Mars. Real musicians, not manufactured musicians by the industry. And that's what hurts all us indie artists, is that you work so hard and you hope that people like your stuff, where these people are told what to record, what to say, what to do, and then their soul is like, well, this is the album by Bad Bunny and Skirtle Turtle, and it's like, really? And I'm just gonna say this. I know I've talked to people who knew legends in Latin music, okay? And they said, well, Bad Bunny has done so much for the Latin community. Do you know how many Latin musicians there are? And you need to tell me if this is the best specimen we can get? I mean,
I'd rather see Mark Anthony because he's Latin singer.
that's what I'm talking about. Even Jennifer Lopez, someone
Hmm.
who has somewhat level of decency and morals, and that's what we're getting back to in this country. But when you have performing in front of how many billions of people, and like 60 to 80,000 people in that stadium, I don't think Bad Bunny was a great choice. And
Yeah, that's like
and
saying Beyonce's a country singer
yeah, yeah, and Taylor Swift's a jazz vocalist. I mean,
or Katy Perry's an astronaut. Yeah, see?
It's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. I mean, when really quickly when Lady Gaga came out with her whole meat coat, I wasn't thinking much. But then when she sang with Tony Bennett and you heard her voice and you heard her chops, I'm like, why aren't you doing this? Because you can sing the phone book, you've got the talent, okay? Why sell yourself out? Don't tell me it's because you need the money. Now, Tony at that point was so old and losing his mind, and but he never forgot the lyrics. He never forgot the
Mm.
music. Isn't that something? There are people, Chris, that I've worked with who seniors who had dementia who couldn't remember what they ate 2 minutes ago, but they had memories of music that they first danced to 65 years ago.
Yeah.
So what does that say? So that's when I say about legacy. What do you want to leave? Do you want to leave a lasting impression that your name is Bad Bunny and you're a guy dressing as a woman? Or do you want to leave about a song that really touches your heart and brings memories of your mother, your brother, your sister, your uncle, your aunt, your cat, your dog, your bird, whatever the case is? It should hit the inner core of who you are. And that's why I'm like, I'm not afraid. I turned 50 this year. I'm like, I'm going all out and I'm gonna make, I'm gonna try to get as much out there because it's gonna help me for future projects.
Mm-hmm.
But overcoming, and I'm sharing this here with you, I hadn't performed in 10, 15 years. And so when you're performing in front of 10,000 people, like, a lot of, there was like a big, big thing, like I wanted to back out. And I stopped for my own personal reasons, but when you get back up on stage, it was like you never forgot a single thing. And it gave you, it just gave me a new sense of, hey, I can do this. Hey, I want to do more of it. But you've got to get over that hump. And we all go through things in life, and we have, you know, life is not easy. But when you've got music and you've got God and you've got, the people who love you and people who you are friends with and just standing beside you, you can't go wrong. So I hope I hope this Christmas is a repeat of 2023 on steroids. Um, I'm anxious because I have to wait 6 more days. So I really don't know what's going to happen. Um, but 2023, as you know, if you go back, anyone watching, just go back and you'll see. We talked about Christmas magic, and it just 7 million in the first day, and I'm like, okay, well, let's see if we can do that again. And I think we're going to do pretty good.
That is awesome, my friend. Thank you for joining us for the seventh, eighth time. Everything will be linked down below, including all those Christmas albums, and we will try to get um, Innocent Angel, If I Can Dream, and get the Christmas 2025 album collection, Spotify link down below. You can take a listen, and I think you'll enjoy them. And everything's out now. Thank you, Jim. Listen to the new albums link below in the description. Okay, we're going to end the stream. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Jim.